Today's Steelers Talk video is sponsored by Hexclad. If you guys are looking for some premium cookware to maybe cook some steaks with during game days this year, go ahead and use promo code CHAT at hexclad.com/chat to get 10% off your order. And welcome into Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, and today I'm going to be breaking down some winners and losers from Steelers OTAs. Week 2 is finally done and over with here. We did another video like this. We did a couple winners from week 1 of OTAs. So if you want to check out that list of 5 winners from week 1 of OTAs, I will put the link to that video in the comments in the description of today's video. But before we get into today's winners and losers from week 2, make sure you are subscribed to the channel for extensive OTA coverage on your Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the NFL offseason. Of course, we're going to be doing extensive coverage during training camp as well, all the way leading up to week 1 versus the San Francisco 49ers, where we will be covering all 17 Steelers games live here on the channel. We're going to have 17 watch parties during the NFL regular season for you guys, so make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the fun. So now let's start with the winners. Let's start with the good news. Most people want to start with the bad news. I like to start with the good news. So without further ado, let's get into this first name here. And the first winner from week 2 is none other than the first-round pick for your Pittsburgh Steelers, Broderick Jones. And it's really looking like Jones is starting to come into his own here as the OTA period continues to roll on. Jones started taking first-team reps this week, which is very, very promising to see the rookie start to get some of these reps at left tackle over Dan Moore Jr. Week 1, it was mostly Dan Moore Jr. on the left side. This week, Jones started to transition more on the left side there for the first team, and then Dan Moore Jr. actually took quite a few reps at right tackle, starting to make that transition to the right side. So even though Jones is starting to get transitioned into what we can presume is going to be a starting role for him at left tackle week 1 versus the 49ers, he still needs to earn this job every single day. I have 100% confidence that head coach Mike Tomlin is going to do just that. He's going to keep his guys accountable, and just based on everything that I'm hearing about Jones, he seems like he's a very intense person, and he works really, really hard, and he's got the right head there on his shoulders. So number 2 on my list of winners from OTAs so far, Joey Porter Jr. We're going from the first-round pick to that second-round pick, and Joey Porter Jr., like Broderick, is getting first-team reps. Patrick Peterson, the number 1 cornerback for your Steelers, said in an interview that Joey Porter Jr. is starting to get first-team reps, which is great news, which means that the Steelers are looking at JPJ as somebody that's going to be hitting the field in his rookie season and play a lot. And personally, guys, this does not surprise me whatsoever. Joey Porter Jr. is a perfect fit for this Steelers defense. He's got long arms. He's incredibly physical. The Steelers love to play press coverage. They love to play cover 3 and cover 1 more than anybody else in the National Football League on early downs. That's what they love to do. That's what Joey Porter Jr. does so incredibly well. I cannot wait to see what he does with the black and gold, and it's looking like he's really impressing the Steelers coaches down there in Pittsburgh. So who has the better rookie season here? Let me know in the comment section. Will it be Broderick Jones, type BJ, if you think it's going to be Broderick, or if you think it's going to be Joey Porter Jr. coming out hot here in his rookie campaign, type JPJ. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, do me a favor, find that pinned comment at the top of the comment section and answer today's question. So number 3 on my list of winners so far during the OTAs is Cory Trice Jr. We go from one cornerback to another cornerback and another rookie cornerback at that. So Cory Trice is impressing Steelers coaches during OTAs. There was multiple reports that he was lighting it up in practices and that he is rising up the depth chart, which, you know, if you watch my draft coverage, you would know I was really high on Cory Trice Jr. I had a 3rd-round grade on this guy, and he fell all the way to the 7th round for medical concerns, and now it's looking like that he could really make an impact for the Steelers in year 1. And rumor has it that he is competing for the 3rd cornerback spot on the Steelers right now. Of course, we know Patrick Peterson is that number 1 guy. Joey Porter Jr. is probably going to move into that number 2 role at some point this season. And now Cory Trice Jr. is looking to overtake Levi Wallace at some point this season for that third spot on the depth chart. Levi Wallace, we'll be getting into him a little bit later on in the show, but a really great veteran piece. And he's somebody that's played a lot of football in this league, has had a really good season actually for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. He won't be easy to overtake, but Cory Trice Jr. is such a talented player, such a talented individual, and I'm calling it right now, guys. I said it on draft night. I said it all the way throughout this process. I think the Steelers got an absolute steal in Cory Trice Jr., and having Trice and Joey Porter Jr. on either side of your defense for the next decade could be potentially deadly. Now, Patrick Peterson, Levi Wallace, until further notice, those guys are the starters. Of course, Joey Porter and Cory Trice need to ascend by the end of training camp here for me to put their faces in these boxes, so to speak. But right now, Levi Wallace is a very solid veteran, and I really do like his presence in there. Joey Porter Jr. and Trice are doing a great job, which is great to see. But I do like Levi Wallace in that spot right now. All right, guys, I'm going to be getting into my last winner of OTAs for the Steelers in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor at HexClad. All right, Steelers Nation, it's time to talk about your kitchen. And no, I'm not talking about the dirty dishes currently sitting in your sink. Today's sponsor, HexClad, has revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of a nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy it. Use promo code CHAT at hexclad.com/chat for up to 10% off your order today. HexClad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They are metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. And don't just take my word for it, guys. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay uses them in his very own home kitchen. This is what Gordon Ramsay has to say about HexClad. The sear I can get with these pans is incredible, with absolutely no stick. The temperature control is utter perfection, and the cleanup is effortless. I love using HexClad at home. And these pans are the sexiest pans on the freaking market, man. Look at this thing. It is beautiful. This is my very own HexClad pan that I use to pan sear steaks twice a week, and it's still this clean. Super easy cleanup, and they make the best steaks I've ever had in my entire life. So score points at home. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy with HexClad. Real cuisine isn't made in a microwave. It's cooked in a HexClad. So for a limited time, get 10% off with our special link, hexclad.com/chat. That's 10% off at hexclad.com/chat with code chat. And for my fourth and final winner of Steelers OTAs so far, I've got second-year linebacker Mark Robinson. Now, Robinson is somebody that came in here pretty darn raw, and the Steelers were hoping he was going to develop over the course of a couple years into a potential starter. And right now, the reports out of Pittsburgh are saying that that is absolutely the case. The coaching staff has done a great job with Mark over this year-and-a-half stretch here where he's joined the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now it's looking like he could potentially challenge Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts, the two free agents they brought in free agency this year, for a potential starting spot. So this week, Mark Robinson had a pick six against Kenny Pickett that was highly publicized. And, man, this guy's looking like he's getting a lot better in the pass coverage element of his game, which is absolutely fantastic to see. That was the big thing in his game that was missing beforehand. Now it seems like he's getting better in that regard. And because of that, he might be looking right down the barrel of a starting job here in 2023. So now that we've gone over the winners, let's now get into the losers. Now, I want to give a quick disclaimer here that just because these guys maybe haven't gotten off to the right start or whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that they suck or that they're bad or that I'm saying these players are going to fail this year or anything like that, okay? I'm just saying that right now, the start hasn't been all that great. So with that being said, let's get into that first name here, and that's rookie tight end Darnell Washington. Now, the reports coming out of Pittsburgh is that Darnell is taking a little bit of time to get used to the playbook, all these different things. He's struggling a little bit in the drills and all these different things that he's doing. And I think that Darnell is going to be fine in the long run. Okay, I don't think that it's going to be a big thing. You know, it's not like he has no time here. It's not like the season starts tomorrow. He's got all off season to get the playbook right, to really ingratiate himself with this coaching staff. And I think that he's still getting his feet wet a little bit. You know, he's still getting used to things in the National Football League. And I think by week 1 of the NFL season, he will absolutely be a contributor for this team, and he's going to be one of the best blocking tight ends from day one in the National Football League, with the upside to potentially be one of the best receivers as well, with the size and speed component that he has with his physical gifts. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I think he's going to be fine. I really believe in the physical talent. Sometimes it takes some guys a little bit longer to get things going and get their feet wet at this level. Cory Trice Jr., Joey Porter Jr., and Broderick seem to really be getting things going. It seems to really be clicking early on. It's not necessarily the case for Darnell right now, which is okay. I think he's going to be fine overall, but at this point, he is an OTA loser. Now, number 2 on my list, I have Chukwuma Okorafor, because plain simply, he is somebody that's taking quite a bit of a hit here because of Broderick Jones succeeding so much. Because Dan Moore Jr. is now competing for this right tackle spot, and that hurts Chukwuma Okorafor, right? Having somebody that started at left tackle last season competing for your job has got to be scary for Chucks, and right now he's in the mix for a potential bench position, a swing tackle position, if Dan Moore Jr. beats him out in camp this offseason. Last year, they were both starters, obviously, and the tackles were just the weak spot on the offensive line last year. There's no sugarcoating it. Dan Moore Jr. had a 62.4 Pro Football Focus grade last year, and then Chukwuma Okorafor had the lowest grade out of any starting offensive lineman on the Steelers last year with 61.2. So these guys very close together in terms of the PFF grading last year. It's going to be interesting to see how Dan Moore adjusts to the right side of the field, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins this job, because I think we all assume Broderick Jones is going to be the starting left tackle for the Steelers next season. So who starts at right tackle? Let me know in the comments section. Do you think it'll be Dan Moore Jr.? Type DM. Or do you think Chucks retains his position at right tackle? Type CO if you think Chucks is going to win that spot. Now, the third loser on my list here, another guy that I really like, but somebody that's kind of been put down a peg a little bit because of some rookies really stepping up, and that's Levi Wallace, right? Wallace is somebody that's been a great pro in this league for a long time. He had 4 interceptions for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, which was only second to Minkah Fitzpatrick on the entire team. But with the ascension of Joey Porter Jr. and Cory Trice Jr. just doing a really great job in OTAs at this point, Wallace is going to be potentially the odd man out at some point this season, right? You got the physicality of Cory Trice and Joey Porter Jr., and that really does fit what the Steelers like to do, and Levi is more of a zone corner. He's more of an instinctual player, not as physically gifted. So at the end of the day, especially towards the end of the season, he could be the odd man out, which kind of sucks because I really like Levi Wallace, right? 4 interceptions last year, a decent Pro Football Focus grade of 62.8, 13 pass breakups and 48 tackles in 15 games played. I really do like him as a player, and I think that he's going to be a good contributor for the Steelers, but the ascension of the 2 rookie corners is definitely not the best thing for Levi Wallace's prospects in 2023. Then finally on my list of OTA losers here, another guy that is kind of, for lack of a better term, just being put down the totem pole here, and that's Allen Robinson. Now, there's no report saying that Robinson is not getting open or anything like that. The reason why he's on the list of losers here is because Calvin Austin III has been lighting it up in OTAs. Apparently, the speed is absolutely electric. The dynamic route running is just incredible. He's getting open all the time. And because of that, Allen Robinson, who the Steelers traded for to be a bigger slot receiver, might be put down a peg here, because Calvin Austin III, if he's that dynamic and he's that explosive from the slot, you got to get him on the field. And to put him on the field, you got to put somebody else on the bench, especially if you're in 11 personnel. And that guy is going to be Allen Robinson, unfortunately. Now, I think Robinson has been a very good mentor to some of these guys. He's been talking about how he's talking to some of the younger receivers like Calvin and George and all these different guys that are still young on this team. And he's kind of taking kind of that role of the mentor, which I really like to see. But man, this is how I think the Steelers are going to handle the slot this year, okay? On early downs, when they need kind of a bigger slot guy to help out in run protection, run blocking, all that different stuff, that's when Robinson is going to play. Second and short, third and short as well. When the Steelers want to run the football, that's when Allen Robinson will be in the game. And then when they want to really pass it, when the defense knows that they're going to be passing, that's when you put Calvin Austin III in the game, because at 5'9", like 165 pounds, Austin's just not going to do much for you in terms of run blocking, so you can't really super trust him on the field on early downs, but I think that Calvin Austin III is going to have a very significant role in this offense. It's probably going to get even bigger as the season moves on. Who's going to be the person that's put down the totem pole here? That's going to be Allen Robinson. That's unfortunate, but man, I think he understands the nature of this business. If Calvin Austin III blossoms into a star, he needs to be on the field. So which Steelers player overall do you think has the most to prove in the 2023 season? Is it Kenny Pickett? Is it maybe George Pickens? Is it Najee Harris? Let me know in the comment section which Steelers player you think has to prove the most. And no, Matt Canada does not count in this scenario. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. I really appreciate all the true Yinzers that made it to the end of today's video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. We're going to have some great stuff coming out here over the next couple days for your Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a great week of content, so make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications.